What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. One of the things when I started this channel that I said I wanted to do was share some lifestyle things with you guys, and so that also includes hobbies that I have. One of the main hobbies in my life for the last decade or so, since graduating high school, although I did do it in high school as well, has been lifting weights. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm particularly strong or that I'm particularly in shape or aesthetic. But it's just something that I really enjoy doing. It's cool to learn the nuances of the movements in lifting weights and just the feeling of being tired and sore muscles after working hard in the gym. So one of the New Year's resolutions that I made this year was to deadlift somewhere between 450 and 500 pounds. Now, with the way that the year is going, I'm pretty certain I'm going to have to shoot more just for that low end of 450. There's a big difference between 450 and 500 pounds. I have since started to implement some programming, and that's actually what this video is just kind of my reintroduction back into some of the bigger movements in lifting weights. So that means bench, deadlift, and squat. Deadlift is going to be my main focus, but all those things should increase just as I work on getting stronger. And that means that I'm also eating a little bit more than I did during the summer when I was watching my weight. Here, I'm going to try to be okay with gaining a little bit of weight. In the past, I've gotten as heavy as like 205 pounds, which was really heavy for me. I didn't feel very comfortable at that weight. And now I'm walking around more of like 180 to 185 pounds, which feels a little bit better. I may have to get heavier than that, though, to make this deadlift thing happen. So my plan is to show you guys the workout that I did the other day, and I'll do a voiceover kind of explaining the movements and what I was happy with, what I wasn't happy with as I work on this rebuild to hopefully deadlift 450 by the end of the year. So enjoy the video.
All right, and here we are. This was actually earlier in the day when I was getting some ab work in. This is one of my favorite ab exercises because it doesn't take a whole lot of sets or even reps for me to really feel it. And I also prefer to do some abs like pretty much every day instead of just dedicating a couple of days to ab work. So these are just toes to bar. As I get better at them, my legs should get straighter and I'll be able to do more reps too. Then I just moved into walking lunges. Lunges are like probably one of the best leg warm-ups because it requires so many of your leg muscles to complete, and so it's just easy to feel loose afterwards and also get your heart rate up by doing some lunge walks. And then next I put on what's called a hip circle. What this does is it's a tool to help you have to force your knees out during a squat. And really what that does is it loosens up your glutes quite a bit. And I have kind of a glute imbalance that I've been trying to work on, meaning one glute seems to work a lot harder than the other. And whether you're concerned about that for like performance in the weight room or even just life, it can actually start to pull on areas of your back and stuff. So it is something that I want to get sorted out and make sure that both glutes are working in tandem. And this is just a really good way to do that. It's a pretty nice tool. You don't have to buy this. You could just buy like regular resistance bands and wrap them around a couple times. And then here's just a couple body weight squats, trying to get some blood flowing. My kettlebell I left upstairs, so I was just doing some work with this light dumbbell. It's probably a little bit too light, but I like to add some extra weight and just sit in a squat to loosen up, and then I can kind of lean into one leg or the other and get a really good stretch. And then I turned it into a kettlebell, I guess. Just again, like a little bit of movement. That's only a 15-pound dumbbell, so these aren't like difficult kettlebell swings or anything. Just trying to move. And then also, if we're talking about me being beat up, I have a bad left shoulder, so I always have to pay attention to that, especially during warm-ups. So bench press, it can kind of hurt, but even just things like a squat where you're reaching behind you to hold the bar. So this is a good way, just going around the head and maintaining control and loosening up those shoulders. And then this is a band pull apart. I will try to hit these randomly, like whenever I see my resistance band, but it's a great way to strengthen the upper back as well as the rear delts. And if I'm doing bench press or any type of like upper body movement, I will almost always do a few sets of these, and today was no different. Now getting into the actual warm-up set for deadlift. This is just 135. It's still enough weight to be giving me a wedgie, as you can see. So just getting a feel for the movement. Should always warm up properly. And my back is even curved a little bit there, so I'm glad I'm seeing this on video because it's something that I probably need to work on. Sometimes though, when you're deadlifting, if your form isn't great, it can be for a couple of reasons. I think it can either be because you're not strong enough or maybe you're not mobile enough. And I think some of mine is mobility. If I can't get down in the position that I need to be down in, then maybe I need to stretch a little more. And that's kind of what I'm doing here, is just loosening up even further so that I'm ready for my heavier sets. Now is when I stand on a 1 to 2 inch deficit, which lengthens the pulling motion of the deadlift. And this is like 225 pounds of bar weight. I was supposed to do 10 reps. We'll see if I did or not. But this is just kind of some of the things that have been programmed into the new one that I'm doing. Instead of just doing a regular deadlift, you can add in variations like a deficit deadlift. And then boom, shirtless pick video. It's actually been proven you can lift 7% more weight if you're shirtless. I can't cite those sources, but I just have found it to be true for myself. So there I am. I probably didn't need a belt, but I like to remind myself what it's like to use one. A belt can provide a leverage for you to use, so you're actually supposed to push your stomach out into the belt. It'd be a bit of a safer way to lift, but also if you're using a belt, I think every time that you lift, you're probably not doing it right either. Now we're into the squat portion. So again, keeping that shirt off is key. And here I was just doing a box squat, so I did a couple sets of 10 with the box squat. And what the box squat is, in this video at least, is it's not just touching the box, but it's actually going down to it and sitting. So you're going to see that I come down kind of hard on this first one. I want to have a little bit more control than that. So you come down and you actually sit back on the box a little bit, but you're not letting your breath out. Like, you should stay tight the whole time. And then your stance is usually a little bit wider, which forces me to really use my hips. So I find that like my inner leg is more sore after a box squat because you're really having to push through on that. So it is a little bit different than just a regular squat, but I enjoy it quite a bit. And this is only 135 pounds, so this is really, really light. Like I said, it's a good way to get back into it. Now, everybody's favorite, the bench press. So I'm using the same weight that I used on the squat, if that tells you anything about how good of a squatter I am. Here, just going again pretty light, like 135 is a lightweight, and I think I was supposed to do 10 of these as well. So these are pretty easy. I'm trying to remember to use my back and stay stuck to the bench. Like with my shoulder, I have to make sure that my shoulder blades are tucked back and I'm not just using my chest or like the front portion of your shoulder, because that's how you can get hurt. And that is it for my workout. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out the links below this video for more of what I have going on. And if this was at all interesting to you, I'll keep pumping them out. And if not, I'm always going to try to have a variety to what I'm covering. Love you guys. Bye-bye.